Hi, guys. Welcome to weekly travel updates. I had hoped that I would be telling you this from somewhere else, but it didn't work out this week. So we'll be on location another week. Let me tell you, this week was Earth Day week, and there's lots and lots in the travel industry that happens when there's a big day like Earth Day. To begin with, all of the cruise lines were so proud to tell us how sustainable they were. I mean, like Carnival had the most. Carnival had 11 million pounds of recycling in 2023. Um, their their food dice area and their liquefied natural gas now is powering engines, but almost every cruise line put something on their YouTube channel for Earth Day to tell about it. Okay, let me tell you, we need to say yay, yay, American. Not just that Mr. Barlow flies for American. That is my in-law. That's Trey's father-in-law. He flies for American. He's a captain. He's a pilot. But this week, and there's a viral video that has gone around. Let me know if you're one of the ones that saw it. But there was an American Airlines plane coming in for a landing, and it hit a bird, caught an engine on fire, and somebody was prudent enough to take a video right out their window. You can see the fire coming out. You can hear people screaming in the background. And yes, American's pilot was safely landed that plane, and all are well. Not to say there was not another fire this week, and this fire was on board a ship. It was mainly smoke inhalation, and it was held to just one kitchen area. So not even guests were provided that information because it was contained before announcements could be made. I usually do a fire and ice year. That's fire for Hawaii and ice for Alaska. Well, if it were right now, ice could be anywhere in the northern Atlantic. There are icebergs everywhere. And Norwegian had to cancel 2 ports this week. Now, this is the time of year where people go on cruises to see the northern lights, the Scandinavian countries. It's cold. They were supposed to call on Newfoundland and into Reykjavik, into Iceland. But because of the icebergs, and remember, it was just a month ago, we were reliving, it's been 100 years, more than 100 years since the Titanic went down. This is the season, and the photos that I've seen of icebergs through the Atlantic, I guess I can believe it. But there are some truly disappointed travelers, I would fear, if you went on Icelandic cruise and then couldn't go to Iceland. Okay, next, let me tell you about the Band for Life traveler. So I usually try to put the cruise news together, but I got to tell you about this. This guy was fishing. He threw a line off the side of a cruise ship, a celebrity cruise ship, no less, where it's really not cool. It's not cool on any ship because you could be banned for life, but they must have been TikTok sensationalist people. And as he caught a fish that was about as big as my hand, taller, but about the length of your hand, he caught the fish and reeled it up to the 9th balcony cabin that he and his wife were staying in, and he shared it on social media. It's like Donald Trump You got to say everything. You got to put it all out there. People. Anyway, he's banned for life from Carnival Cruise Line, Celebrities Cruise Line. We've been talking about they're going to share names. Now the FAA wants all of the travelers' names who have caused issues on cruise ships to cross-reference with travelers that they've had issues with on airplanes. I thought that was really interesting. Okay, I thought that I was going to get by 1 week and not tell you about an earthquake. 2 hours ago, a 7.3 earthquake hit just west of the Sumatra Island in Indonesia. Now, Indonesia is like at the edge of the Ring of Fire in the South Pacific, which has a lot of seismic activity. The Ring of Fire comes from volcanoes, that explode, that are in that area. But this earthquake, I think about these people, pray for these people. They are scrambling to get to the hills. A tsunami is almost sure to hit. I have no idea what kind of time frame that takes. And since it happened 2 hours ago and I was almost finished with, content and getting information up for the show tonight, it happened 12.43 miles deep. And you just think about Indonesia and where that's at. It was felt as far as 182 miles away, but the seismic activity is going to be measured for days. So everybody is headed for the highlands. Okay, let me tell you about some of the Earth Day promotions that went on. So one thing that Carnival did that I thought was probably the coolest thing I've seen them do is they have been cruising to Grand Turk since 2008. And they presented Grand Turk with a full-blown, full fire truck. Probably the most modern technology that this area has seen in decades. Not only did they provide them a fire truck, but they also are going to provide training. So they're going to send over lucky firemen, who get to go and train the people how to use the vehicle in Grand Turk. I just thought that was cool. Another thing that happened on Earth Day was Juneau signed an agreement, and it was an agreement of inclusivity. CLIA, which is the Cruise Lines International Association, and the city of Juneau signed an agreement that no more than 4 ships would be in port at one time or in one day in the port of Juneau. I'm glad we're going this year because we for sure are going to go, and there won't be any question. But next year, with 41 ships in sailing, to be limited to 4 ships in one day, that might cause some challenges. We'll have to see. Remember, guys, our cruise is going September 12th through the 22nd. It's 10 days, and it's air to Anchorage, one night in Anchorage, the Alaska Railroad, in Gold Star service. And if you don't know what that means, you're missing out. And 2 nights in Denali, and then we're going to do 7 nights southbound on Royal Caribbean's Radiance of the Seas. So, another Alaska point before I jump on is Skagway had a development this week. Skagway, Alaska is where several of the boulders came down and literally crushed the port in 2023 season or 2022 season. And There is one more huge boulder that is up on top of the hill that makes them concerned about rebuilding that port. So, what they're going to allow are 2 ships on the smaller side, which is what we are selling. We're selling the Radiance of the Seas because she is smaller. She fits into every port. There'll be no places that we will have to tender. Okay, now to go on. Do you know New York? New York has its own cruise ship now. The MSC Meraviglia is going to make New York City its home port, and they're going to have year-round sailings from New York City. It's going to do Bermuda and the Bahamas sailings, but New York City, I'm sure they are proud. Uh, let's see, I guess it was a Carnival ship. Carnival called New York City home for a couple of years, but that's been ages ago. So this is new to New York City, and with the new 2 ships that have just come over to the United States, it is making MSC now the 3rd largest cruise line in the world with 26 ships. That's saying something. Okay. Let me tell you about Florida. All right. So May 1st opens the purchase dates for the Florida transportation system, the one that's going to link Orlando and Miami. So it's $79 or 4 trips for $199. So essentially, you could fly into Orlando and jump on a train and have it take you right to Miami. I think that it will add options because, sometimes we can't get those nonstops in Miami. And I have people who will only fly nonstop. Well, they have now Orlando with the 2nd fastest train in the United States. They could be from Orlando into Miami in 3 hours flat, and it'd be a possible or a potential price option and flexibility option. It also stops from Orlando. It stops in West Palm Beach, in Boca Raton, in Aventura, and in Miami. So let me know if that fulfills any need you have upcoming. I know that it will for some of my families. And then cruise news. This week we had 2 cruise deaths. On the Costa sailing out of Civitavecchia, which is the port that you leave out of. They call it Rome. There's an 18-year-old, and unknown at this point, but he somehow fell or jumped, or he was off of the ship, a large ship, and the ship horns went off, man overboard. They turned around and they did find this 18-year-old, but he had drowned. Another very sad piece of reality, because we have to live with not all of just life, but death as well. There was a 33-year-old who was jumping in Ocho Rios at the Blue Hole. You may know that. And they ported into Ocho Rios, but we're at the Blue Hole, and it's a place where you go and you climb up sides of cliffs and you dive off or jump off. Anyway, this person went off the side of the cliff and didn't come up. And their body was recovered of drowning. So it's a simple reminder. You think we're going out for a day of fun and great things to do, and things do happen. So that's pretty much the cruise news this week. I would love to work with you. There are all kinds of deals out there. Yes, Royal Caribbean said that their 30% off and kids sale free was going away, but it hasn't. And yes, Norwegian Cruise Line said they're free at sea with free air, free beverages, free Wi-Fi, etc. was going away, but it hasn't. They are just renaming these promotions, and they're out there for you. So if you have a trip on your bucket list, please reach out to us. We are terribly excited that there is new Alaska space. We must have had another group cancel because there are balconies and they're a good price. So if Alaska's on your bucket list, now's the time. Reach out to me, 336-222-TRIP. I am Melinda Fargas, proud owner of Action Travel. We're going to turn 33 years this year, and we are making 23 a great year for us. I look forward to seeing you. Come down and see me in downtown Mebane. I'm there on Fridays and Saturdays at 121A West Clay Street. Or give us a call, 336-222-TRIP. Would love to talk to you and plan your next getaway. Thanks so much. Remember, without a travel agent, you're on your own.